What up, y'all? It's your man, Abuamerican. To anyone, this is a message to married people. And this be you male or be you female. It doesn't matter. Stop going into marriages and relationships with a very hostile mentality or a mentality that fosters a hostile environment. And I'll give you a classic example. And don't misinterpret what I'm going to say here, but this whole I know my rights thing, and we find that sisters do this more than brothers. I know the rights of the wife, and I know the rights of the wife, and blah, 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 and my rights are, and blah, 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 blah. Fine, fair enough. I'm not saying that anyone should not receive their rights in a marriage. This is not what I'm saying. Absolutely, you should receive your rights. But where have we heard this before? I know my rights. It's like when citizens are having confrontations and conflicts with police. And this mentality, in my humble estimation, comes from like the police, from Western feminism and the idea that authority is automatically abusive. And I don't think that's the case. There is abuse of authority, obviously. There's going to be those people, no matter who they are, no matter what religion, no matter what gender they are, that are going to abuse, or ethnicity, that are going to abuse authority when they're giving it to them. These are just corrupted people who are broken people. So if you are in a relationship with someone who abuses their authority, or they just abuse their position, because maybe the wife, she's taken authority, or maybe she doesn't have authority, but she abuses her position, by being excessive in what she requests and what she demands of her husband, well then, that's a sign of the person, that's a sign of their corruption, and some sort of deficiency within themselves. It also shows maybe they're inappropriate or not ready for marriage, because marriage is about, and I'm not gonna say that goofy stuff, it's all about giving, but it is at the same time. You have to be willing to give to your partner when it's less than ideal, because marriages are not always ideal. There are just situations and times where you're just like, yo, I just don't want to do this. I'm sure women have similar. So you got to be ready. Now, when it comes down to rights, obviously, the man has rights and the woman has rights. And I think it would be very helpful if you started from the position of, okay, I understand what her rights are upon me. Let me go from there. And she should start with a position of, I know what his rights are upon me. I should start there. If you took this position and this stance, you wouldn't have to know your rights. Think about that really hard for a second. Stop and think about that. If I understood the rights of my partner upon me, both parties, I would not have to know my rights. You think, Abuamerican, how is that possible? Because when you understand your partner's rights on you, you also understand what is not their right. You're like, this is the limitations of your rights. I'm not really sure what I'm supposed to get, and I'm not saying, be this person. Understand your rights also. But a good starting point is, what are their rights? Then when they come with something that's goofy, you're like, hold up. I know from the book of the Sunnah, that ain't really one of your rights. What you coming with now, homie or homegirl? This way, you are always in a position, or predominantly, hopefully, inshallah, in a position of blamelessness, because you have always provided your partner with their rights. And then when they became excessive, or they became too demanding and wanted something more, then you understood, because you know their rights, what the limitations are. You'd be like, that's not within the framework of your rights. This goes back down to the principles of me knowing that whole medicine thing, how everybody flipped out about what I said about, caring for the family and medicine and whatnot and all this, and I told brothers they need to retract their statements. That's where that comes from. Because I took the time to actually study the rights of my wives. Now, I didn't go looking for the limitations. It just happened to be that I stumbled upon it. And I was like, oh, wow, isn't that interesting? Well, what's this here? Now, obviously, I take my fams to the hospital. I pay for the medical care and all this type of stuff. Alhamdulillah. But understanding your partner's rights prevents you from falling into a lot of problems that abusive, solipsistic, selfish people come with when they go into relationships. So think about that, people, inshallah. And yeah, let me know what you think in the comment section. It's your man Abuamerican. I'm out.